Hi, I'm Cheryl. Raise your hand if you like rain. Keep your hand up if you're a person that loves to drink fresh water. Did you know that the earth can filter rainwater into fresh water without the help of man? There are times I wonder to myself and ask these questions: where does fresh water come from? What does the rainwater have to do with fresh water? Where does the rainwater go once the clouds go away and it stops raining outside? How does water continuously pour over a waterfall but never dries up? How does a water bottling company in another state advertise that our water is bottled with natural spring water, but the natural spring is in a warehouse somewhere in the middle of another area? The questions I always asked myself but never knew the answer to was: how is fresh water collected, processed, and treated for human consumption? And why is there a increasing demand for fresh water? Where does fresh water come from? When precipitation forms, which is the clouds, it produces moisture and rain, which will soak into the ground and filter the rainwater through the plants, grass, and compost to become groundwater. Drawn by gravity, groundwater may move through aquifers. Now, aquifers would be um, some rocks, certain plants and vegetation, until it finds some opening to the surface. An aquifer is a body of water saturated sediment or rock in which water can move rapidly or readily through. Aquifers are natural exits which groundwater seeps or springs through. In a seep, water flows out over a relatively wide area. In a spring, water exits through ground as a significant flow from a relatively small opening, which is why a river can keep flowing even when there has been no precipitation. Remember, I always wondered, why does a waterfall keep flowing over? It seeps and springs feeds streams, lakes, rivers, groundwater joins and becomes part of surface water. Surface water would be like when you're walking down the street and you see the rain and you see the water going down the curb. That would be surface water. How is fresh water collected, processed, and treated for human consumption? Main point number two. There are several processes that function together that support Earth's water moving in a cycle. These processes are involved in supporting Earth's cycles are condensation, precipitation, infiltration, runoff, tra- transpiration, known as your hydrologic cycle. Your hydrologic cycle begins when water evaporates, condenses into form clouds, which result in precipitation, which is, that's, as I said earlier, when the clouds come together and they have moisture in them. Condensation is the process of water forming from a vapor to a liquid. Precipitation is water released from clouds in the form of rain, sleet, snow, hail. Water falls from the clouds to the surface and then infiltrates the soil and flows to ocean, lakes, streams, rivers, and runoffs. Why is there increasingly demand for fresh water? Surface water is far easier to reach, so it becomes the most common source of potable water. About 321 billion gallons of water a day of surface water is used by human consumption. About 77 billion gallons of groundwater are used each day. Problems also exist in the contamination of the water supplies. This further limits the amount of water available for human consumption. Water is found in many different forms and in many different places. While the amounts of water that exist seem to be plentiful, availability of the water for human consumption is limited, with the contaminated and polluted water and very little water for human consumption. Water treatment plants have become a main source of getting filtered drinkable water to homes for humans' consumption. In conclusion, the coagulation process involves adding a chemical such as aluminum sulfate, ferric chloride, polymers to water, which will cause small particles to come together to form larger particles that can then settle at the bottom as gravity takes place, just like it would if it was being filtered naturally. In closing, people are not happy about this. They don't want to drink water that's been certain additives have been added to it to keep it clean, but those additives are going into their body. Chemical treated water is to make it fresh, but however, our lakes, ocean, rivers, and streams continue to become littered with trash that hurt our environment and absorb into the ground, which contaminates the groundwater being filtered naturally. That should become fresh water. In the clincher of it all, if we as humans want fresh water to have to start if we want fresh water to have to drink, we have to start preserving earth and throw our trash where it belongs. Keep our natural extras free from contamination and groundwater so it can become filtered naturally and we have fresh water to drink. I thank you so much and you have a great day.